Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the New York Jets have a brand new quarterback, Justin Fields. Welcome to the New York Jets. I am all sorts of excited. Boys and girls, feels good having someone that your top wide receiver is very, very excited about. Boys and girls, if Garrett Wilson is happy, I am happy. Jeremy Ruckert's happy. The team seems pumped up. 2 years, $40 million for Justin Fields. He's out in, I think he's in Dubai right now. So dude's like, I just got to get away from here. And I'll come in all nice and cool and collected. I'm excited about this, boys and girls. We're going to go into all the different free agent news, as well as some of the rumors. I want to hear from you guys, get your reactions to the Justin Fields news. But before we do, I want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Ridge. Story about my life with a wallet that was way too big. Let me tell you something. I had a leather wallet for the longest time. It was eating up a ton of space in the back of my pocket, and my back hurt all the time. I was always lopsided, leaning one way or the other. This thing, bam, hooked it up with the green Ridge wallet. Pop a few cards in there. Look how thin that is. You feel like 12 cards in here, I think is what they tell me. I don't got 12. I got like 3. And I never carry cash. But man, this feels so much better on my bum than the wallet I was carrying around all the time. It's unique. It's slim, modern design, made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. There's like 50 colors of these suckers. So like if you don't want the green one, because maybe you're not as Jets as... some like me and some of the other guys, just zillion different colors. Pick your flavor. They're going to have one over there for you. All their products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet you're ever going to have to buy. Does it give you peace of mind? Knowing that there's a little bit of RFID technology, like those little scammers and hackers that try to pickpocket you digitally, this stuff's going to block it. Wild. Digital age today. Very scary. Nice to have that RFID blocking technology. And they got 100,000 5-star reviews. It's absolutely crazy. If you're losing your wallet, they even make one. I didn't get that one, but they make one with like a little, the AirTags? Those little buttons that go on? You can have one of those things in here. Boom, right there. It's on the screen. Which way am I pointing? That way. Wham. You could always find your wallet then. I can't tell you how many times I put mine through the wash, or I've left it. It's fallen between the seats of my car, and I'm digging through the couch trying to find stuff. It is very, very nice being able to have those little AirTags. So I probably should have got one with that. Ridge, next time, hook it up. Man. And they're not just about wallets either. They got premium everyday essentials like key cases, suitcase, rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping and a 99-day risk-free trial and a lifetime warranty on all their products. Ridge, right now, Ridge is having their 1-year anniversary sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/JetsTalk. Just head over to ridge.com/JetsTalk. See the biggest sale of the year after you purchase. They're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please, it would go a long way if you said, I heard them from Ryan over on Jets Talk. Because hopefully they want to sponsor some more videos in the future. It's pretty sweet. I'm very, very excited. So, guys, thank you so much for making this possible. We got more important things to talk about. Got Justin Fields, baby. And now his thing's falling down over my face. I might just have to wear this the whole time. I don't know if I can take myself seriously. I can't really read things like this. If you couldn't tell from the, the read there. Oh, that's all right. Whew. Let's go, boys and girls. Let's go. Jets have themselves a quarterback. A lot of people kind of frustrated. It seems like there's a little bit of a split. But 94% of you are happy we got Justin Fields, which is pretty cool. I've been calling for Justin Fields since the end of the season. You guys saw my mock offseason that I put out. Justin Fields was top on my list as far as quarterbacks that the Jets could bring in for this year because I felt like he gave you the most potential while not investing a crazy, crazy ton. Now, I'll admit, 2 years, $20 million, that's a little bit more than I was thinking we were going to spend. 2 years, $40 million, $20 million a year, $30 million fully guaranteed. You're basically here for a year. You can move off him in a year if you needed to. And like, if you were only paying him $10 million guaranteed next year. Now, I don't know exactly how the contract is structured. So maybe there's a situation where like you get someone and Fields could be a backup in theory next year. But dude, I'm happy. The fact that Garrett Wilson is happy, and like after all the animosity that we had over the course of the season, like even if you're not like a big Justin Fields fan, or you're like, oh man, we're going to see 160 passing yards like per game, get over it. As long as Garrett's happy and he's more likely to maybe sign a contract here long-term, like I'm tickled pink. Not to mention Justin Fields is the type of personality that is totally different than what we've had the last bunch of years. Not even just with Rodgers, but with Zach Wilson as well. Like there's a big portion of the fan base that felt like Justin Fields should have been the pick at number 2 instead of Zach Wilson at the time. Now, to this point in time, Justin Fields hasn't really had the booming career that any of those quarterbacks were kind of expected to have. But DJ Moore, his last year, Justin Fields last year in Chicago, 1,300 yards with Justin Fields at quarterback. I think Garrett Wilson is going to be just fine. Not to mention Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Isaiah Davis going to fucking go off. This running team, we're going to stuff it down people's throats. I'm like all sorts of excited for this because like the Jets and ground and pound, not even just from like the Rex Ryan era when that term became like such a staple for us, but like going back to like Curtis Martin and like my whole childhood, I have loved the running back position, and the fact that like we got some mobility in the quarterback room that was like so clearly needed with Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying Fields is going to have a better year than Aaron Rodgers, not by a long shot. I won't say that. But I will say that the mobility is going to unlock a lot more of the offense than I think we were able to do with A-Rod here. Not to mention, this is a guy that feels like he hasn't really had a shot. And the Jets are kind of that team that feels like they've never really had a shot. And like, I feel like he can embody the passion that Jet fans have for this team. Like, we feel like we're beaten down. I feel like he feels like he's beaten down. I feel like he's got a really good opportunity here. I think there's a shot the Jets still wind up swinging at a quarterback in the mid-rounds, call it 4th round or later. We're going to need a potential backup in the future, whether Fields works or doesn't work. The money kind of suggests that maybe they don't go with a quarterback in the mid-rounds. But to me, if Milroe slides a little bit further down and he wanted to make that selection in like the 3rd round, if he winds up making it that far, I mean, you basically got like Justin Fields and Milroe are kind of like one in the same with like their athletic ability and stuff. So I'm really excited about this. I think there's going to be a lot of fun and enjoyment coming in this season. Jets also signed a corner that I think I'm hearing might wind up playing safety, Brandon Stevens. 3 years, $36 million. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole heck a lot about this guy. I saw a video of him locking down Jamar Chase. That makes me feel good. His Pro Football Focus rankings were like, meh. But I also don't want to take Pro Football Focus rankings for their face value. So I will wait till I watch more tape on him to give you more of a concise feeling on how I'm feeling on him right now. But we should be pretty pumped. Pretty pumped right now. We're all right. Blitz Crew comes in, says, Stevens, a free safety or cornerback for us. Moses to the Pats hurts. Yeah, and the fact that Moses got like $8 million a year, I think it was $8 million a year. Was it 3 years, $24 million, I think is what I saw. That's irritating that we couldn't have matched that. I would say at this point in time, I'm like definitely leaning toward Membu at number 7 right now. And that's someone that like did not want to go the tackle route. Now, I think Tristan or Jedrick Wills is still available right now as of recording this video. I really need to catch up on some of like the inner workings. So if I'm saying something that's totally out of left field, just let me know in the chat and I will correct that. But Jets need a right tackle. And I don't think Wills is like the future right tackle, but it would be a nice swing to make. Membu, the tackle from, was it Missouri? Killer combine. So maybe the Jets wind up going that way. But yeah, losing Moses definitely stings. Justin Fields finally home where he belongs since 2021. Yeah, everyone's hyped. Maybe we're going to go after Chris Olave as wide receiver 2. That would be wild to just reunite all the Ohio State guys. I mean, heck, the Philadelphia Eagles just did the whole damn thing in Georgia, or with Georgia. That entire defense is Georgia Bulldogs. Why can't it work with the offensive side? It can totally work. Mutt Viles, win-win situation, boys. Let's be hyped about it. I agree. Did Zach Wilson actually go to Miami? Is that true? That sucks. I don't really want to go against him at all. Not that I think I shouldn't say not that we're ever going to see him. I think we're definitely going to see him because Tua is going to get hurt at some point. I just don't want him to be like good. I don't want to see that. Mark Maddie. Looks like offense needs will be done in the draft. I think tight end and wide receiver definitely will. I think right tackle could be as well. Our first 3 picks might be like tackle, wide receiver, tight end in that order. And like potentially like a quarterback. Like it's still not, I'm still not shocked that if they were to go quarterback at some point. But yeah, we're gonna need to use the whole thing. How's this team that has no cap make such huge deals? So Mark, when you see a cap hit, like let's take Justin Fields for example. Whoops, that is not right. That is not supposed to say 3 years. That's supposed to say 2 years. Come on, 2 years, Justin Fields. 2 years, $40 million. When you see something like this, 2 years, $40 million. Now your head's probably saying this is $20 million cap hit this year, $20 million cap hit next year. That's not likely to be the case. And I haven't seen any of the contract structure yet, but I would bet there's probably some void years added onto this. And it's probably like, oh, you're going to get $10 million right now with a $10 million signing bonus. So that way he's effectively getting $20 million for this season, but that signing bonus gets spread over multiple years of the contract. So for easy math, let's just say it is only a 2-year contract and there's no extra void years. But if it's a $10 million signing bonus, that means $5 million attributed to this year, $5 million attributed to next year, which if you're doing the math and it's 2 years, $40 million, 15 gets paid out this year. I mean, well, technically 20 gets paid out this year, but only 15 gets hit on your cap for the season. And then you have 20 plus the other 5 from the signing bonus that gets paid out for next year. But there's probably, like I said, going to be a void year or 2 that's going to stretch things out. It's not going to hurt, as bad. And realistically, I think he's like the 21st ranked, like highest paid quarterback. So got to pay to play, boys and girls. Even if you don't love the passing, it's okay. Oh boy, life-size bobblehead. With the helmet on, my head looks gigantic because the rest of my body's just oh so tiny. Oh so little. All right, let's go in here. TJ's got a Ridge wallet. Dude, it's like literally, it's thin. Really nice form factor. Big fan of the thin stuff right now. I guess being a Jets fan is better than being a Yankees fan right now. FYI, I'm a Mets fan. Yeah, Yankees are not feeling so great right now. Thank you, Mutt Viles. Bobblehead season. Did I not say it? Justin Fields to Garrett Wilson again. Hey, I'm excited. I've been on the Justin Fields train for a while now. Wimmy, now we need a right tackle, number 7. I think there's definitely a strong case for tackle at number 7. I wouldn't have felt that way had Membu not had the combine that he had. Because honestly, I was not really thinking O-line in the first at all. I would like to see the Jets hit on offensive linemen outside of the first round. But being that it's such a glaring hole right now, if you could just bookend your tackles for the next 5-6 years, like that's really, really nice. We just instantly fixed mobility issue. Yes, we did. Steelers have gotten further in the playoffs if they started Fields. I think it's possible. I'm not beat up over the Steelers moving away from Fields and thinking like, oh man, Tomlin's this great head coach. He must know something that no one else knows. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I like Mike Tomlin. I know a lot of Steelers fans that are not Mike Tomlin fans, like at all. Not to mention the quarterback situation that he's had going on in Pittsburgh has been absolute booty cheeks since Big Ben. So he's had plenty of opportunities to try and address the situation, and it just has not gone through. Peter says Ryan is ready to run through a wall. I am! I'm ready to go. Wimmy says, I honestly thought we'd get Javon Holland today. Still waiting. Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's going to get, because didn't the safety from the Raiders get like 3 years, $60 million? I wasn't really hoping to see a $20 million a year safety. And then I think the Raiders wound up signing someone for, I think, $16 million a year. It's a lot of safeties. A lot of safeties out there. Daily Duke says, love Justin Fields. Now they take O-line or tight end in the first round draft and Dart in the second. I don't really want Dart in the second. I'll be honest. I'm fine with Warren in the first. I would prefer it to be a trade down if we're going to get him. I do still think wide receiver is a big need, but I think I'd rather go wide receiver in the second round and then tackle in the first. I don't know. I'm leaving myself open to changing that mindset. Best news of the day, Dolphins signed Zach Wilson. It does make me chuckle a little bit. O-line forming, Fields, Brees, Braylon, Isaiah Davis, Tyler Warren, Garrett Wilson. Sheesh. Let's go, baby. All right, man. I am trying to catch up here. Kevin says, it's good we got Fields. Low risk, high reward. Love that we locked down Sherwood. Homegrown talent. Staying home is a good sign for other players too. Yeah, I was a little surprised Sherwood was hanging back. From what I've heard from people I know in the building is he's not like a huge fan of the Jersey area in general. So I'm just happy he came back. Now definitely take Warren at 7. Cam Ward, love Cam Ward, but we need long-time elite number 1 tight end finally. I don't want Cam Ward. I'm not a Cam Ward guy. Fields' first run attempt will be more than Aaron Rodgers had all season. Yeah, well, look, I don't want Aaron Rodgers running like the plays that Fields would be running. Fletch, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm excited. I think this will be a very likable, good vibes team. No individuals, just a tight-knit team with a healthy locker room. Feels refreshing. Yeah, I think that was like definitely part of the mindset going into this offseason. And I think Fields, because of his journey through the NFL so far and his relationship with Garrett Wilson and Jeremy Ruckert, there's like a cohesion as if he were here already. I really think he's a gutsy player, like a really gutsy player. A big fan of Justin Fields, the leader in the locker room, first and foremost. Daily Duke says, Warren or the O-lineman from LSU. I don't really want Will Campbell because of his arm length. They say he projects more as a guard. I would say Membu at 7 if you're going to take one. Oregon says, breaking news, Jet fans will be paying more for hot dogs than for tickets by November 1st, 2026. I mean, that's a year from now, so that's okay. As long as it's not 2025. I don't want to have these whole like, oh, wow, tickets cost less than the price of a beer. I'm excited for opening night. You know what's going to happen? Freaking Aaron Rodgers is going to go to Steelers, and there's going to be this whole Steelers-Jets rivalry. We're going to get it on, like, Monday night, and we're going to start Monday Night Football again. It's just going to be a whole thing. Ugh. Stevens had a down year, but as a number 2, he is solid with, like, Eccles back and Holland or Reed. Yeah, I guess I'd like to see Eccles come back. I mean, if you have a good front 7, I think the corner position is going to be a lot easier to see. Web Film says draft Sanders if he falls to us. If he falls to us, that means the Raiders passed on him, and the Raiders have Tom Brady, who is Sanders' off the field, off-season quarterback coach. I definitely do not like the idea of drafting Sanders if the Raiders are also passing on him. That throws up a red flag for me. Mark, in 7 games with Fields, Fields had a better win record than New York and quintuple the rushing yards as Aaron Rodgers. The bum gave us 60-some-odd yards all season, not a single QB sneak or first earned. Shake my head. Yeah, being able to run for a first down and at least apply that pressure to a defense is huge. Now we just need Fields to be able to like scare teams with his arm as well. I think that is something they're going to definitely try to focus in on. And hopefully we get the ultimate, rebound. Like hopefully we could be the Geno Smith, Sam Darnold in reverse. We're taking basically like the Bears, who are essentially the Jets of the NFC. So we got to get a little love back our way. Can't believe Slayton stayed with the Giants. Yeah, I saw that. That kind of stinks. Would have liked to seen that. How about Stefon Diggs? I don't really want to go that route. Will Warren be better than Laporta? I don't know. Laporta's really friggin' good. I'd love if Warren could be. I'm hoping we get a signing while the mocks are going tonight. Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm not going to do a mock in this show right now. I want to talk more about, your thoughts, everything going on. Then we're going to go into the Talkin' Jets show. Myself and Tio are going to be talking more about free agency, and we'll do a mock draft there as well, just kind of discuss everything that's going on. And then Dom and Green Bean will be on at 10 o'clock on the 10 o'clock mock over on Green Bean's channel. So lots of stuff going on here for sure. Zach to Miami looks real. Jedrick's still out there, it seems. Okay, cool. I want to see Jedrick Wills end up over here. Laporta is overrated. He's not even that great. I mean, they're having a pretty good time over there in Detroit. Danny says Warren is the first Jehovah Savina in the second round. Warren in the first. Jonah Savina in the second round. We're gonna have to watch more guys. I don't know all the names. What do I think about Warren at 7 and Trey Harris at 42? Isn't Trey? I'm getting my names mixed up. Let me. Ole Miss wide receiver, 6'3". I mean, I'm fine with him. I'm fine with Higgins. There's a lot of receivers that I actually do like in the second round. So I think going either O-line or tight end. I like a lot of tight ends in this class, though. So, like, now that our pick is 20 picks higher in the third round, like, you could definitely convince me on, like, tackle, wide receiver, tight end, maybe a swing at quarterback or something like that. I would like to see wide receiver, tight end, and re-sign Eccles and call free agency until after the draft with Stevens at free safety. Yeah, you know, I don't know if I would like to see a splashy move at safety just because, like, we haven't done it in a while. I think it's better probably if we don't do that because you're probably less likely to get the production out of a free agent, but I'm okay. Do we take Ibuka to further our OSU offense? It's possible. If we trade down, I think it's definitely possible. I think he's in play. Caleb, what's the next move? My next move would be Jedrick Wills. I think that would be a very smart signing. It gives you some protection behind Olu. I think you'd rather upgrade from Max Mitchell and Carter Warren anyway. So someone that gives you left tackle, right tackle flexibility, and is young enough to essentially be like the Justin Fields of the offensive line, if you will. Granted, Wills has had some injury issues the last little bit, so I still want to combine him with a free agent, a draft pick offensive lineman as well. Chick says maybe a trade down in the, but not at 7. Look, right tackle, if you like Membu enough, you probably, I don't know if you can slide back and risk missing him, because after him, I don't know if there's another tackle that I'm feeling like super great about. So maybe they end up leaning that way in a similar mindset. Owen says, if Tanner can build an offense that has Ohio State feel, I think they can get the best out of Justin Fields. The Bears and Steelers made him run their offenses. Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely a lot of meat left on the bone with Justin Fields. Cashmere, losing DJ Reed to the Lions sucks. Great for Lions, though. Yeah, you know, we kind of figured we were going to wind up losing DJ Reed. I really like him a lot. I'm kind of glad the Jets didn't go after Carlton Davis. Davis got, I think it was $20 million a year. Reed ended up, was it $16 million a year, I think is what I saw. Good for him. I got nothing bad to say about DJ Reed. I'm a big fan. Did you see Peter Schrager said that the Jets are tight-lipped? Does that mean they're tight-lipped on who they're drafting or who they're looking at in free agency? I'm curious to get a little more context there. I'm so happy. We've been wanting him since last year. Yeah, dude, we've been talking about Justin Fields for a minute now. And I'm not claiming him to be some sort of savior of the franchise, but I just think he is the right player right now for the New York Jets. Victor, what's good, Victor? Awesome sponsorship. Ridge Wallet sells a Jets wallet. Pretty sick. I mean, I didn't know there was a Jets wallet, but the green one is Jetsy enough for me. But if they actually have a Jets one, what am I doing? I should have got the Jets one. That's all right. Big fan of the Ridge wallet. Thoughts on X being down for the start of free agency? Dude, I was sitting at work. I'm trying to refresh Twitter and nothing's working. And then I wound up going over to Blue Sky and everything's getting posted there and on Threads. So I'm like, my whole guy group chat between the Talking Jets guys and like some of my other friends are like bouncing back and forth. And I'm trying to piece together free agency because I can't go on Twitter. Oh, dude. Talk about like a critical time to have an outage. That was not fun. I think Moses signing helps us get Ozzie. I mean, I hope so. I really like Ozzie Trapillo in the third round. I think that would be a great swing for the Jets. I would say Membu and him are the two that I would prefer to get. Like if you are in love with Warren, like go ahead, make the pick of Warren at 7, get your receiver in the second round, and then you can probably go after Trapillo in the third. I'm kind of indifferent on flip-flopping between tight end and tackle in the first and third. I think receiver probably has to be hit in the top 2 rounds, though. So I'm pretty open. I'm not going to be upset one way or the other. As it are we really out on Jordan Travis? I think Jordan Travis is kind of out on us, first and foremost. But also remember, as hyped as I was on Jordan Travis, that was thinking Aaron Rodgers was going to be here for 2 years. We'd get to see Jordan Travis before investing heavily into a quarterback into 2026. And because we got a new regime and Rodgers isn't here and everything else, look, Jordan Travis, I don't think there's a good shot he makes the team. I'll be honest. I think he ultimately gets cut. Maybe he gets relegated to practice squad, but it wouldn't shock me if he's gone. Connor Rogers thinks AG may see Stevens as a safety. Yeah, I was seeing Dom C was telling me about that. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Mark Maddie, hey Ryan, I need to turn my head around after that cap explanation. Oh, dude, I'm like super dialed into the cap. It's much easier. I should have a whiteboard so I can kind of explain. Maybe I'll get a whiteboard. Maybe I could do that. I could probably do a whiteboard, and then I can like show you guys exactly like what some of this math works out to be. Because the signing bonus on a contract gets split over however many years the contract actually is. Like it might say 2 years, but if there's void years, technically there's like years added on that aren't actually like there. It's only for cap purposes. So think about this. 5-year contract with a $50 million signing bonus, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. It's all paid in the first year, but it gets spread out over the course of those 5 years. So the base salary year one could be much lower, which means the cap hit for year one is not equal to every single year. It took me a while to really understand it as well as I do. Who do you think the Jets will sign next in free agency? I hope we get a good safety. Safety is the position I'm kind of keeping my eye on. Sign Wills draft Trapillo, similar to Smith Fashanu last year. Trapillo being insurance when Wills get away injured or sucks. Yeah, Trapillo and Wills are like, I don't want to say low enough swings, but they're not super high investments. And I would like to get offensive line outside of the first round, but I am open to that. Maybe Woody's son is watching this stream telling his dad who we suggest to draft this year. I hope so. Little Woody, Little Johnson. That's Brick Johnson. Hey, how do you have a Woody Johnson and a Brick Johnson? Like what? Like you would have thought Woody, like he had to have been made fun of as a kid for the name of Woody Johnson. Like why name your kid Brick? I guess being hard is probably not as bad as like other Johnsons, but like, man. Rusty Spooner does not like the quarterback. Sanders, Ward, and Jackson Sharp will be busts. It's good because we're going to draft Milroe. I've been pretty excited about Milroe for a while now. Now, like I understand it's almost like very eerie to the Justin Fields argument where he's like, oh, he's not really a passer. We got to groom him and whatnot. Yes, but he's the only quarterback in this class that like feels special in a very particular way. Like this dude's so fast. If he's there in the third, I would very highly consider taking Jalen Milroe. We need Olave, says Turbos. We need a giant human on the D line still. Yes, I agree. Rusty stirring the pot. Yes, he is. Olave is a one-hit wonder. Can't take a hit. No, thank you. Yeah, but if he doesn't cost a whole lot to get, I'm on board. Mike, I love the Field signing. Takes us out of the whole trade up to number one and draft a quarterback early while also possibly keeping us in the 2026 class if Fields doesn't work out. Mike, that was my whole argument. With my whole mock-off season. This is why I want Justin Fields. You provide hope where he could still be a potential future. I feel like more than anything else, this year is about figuring out what your team is for your coaching staff and keeping the younger players feeling like we have a shot or we have an opportunity. This contract says we believe in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields, from a youth perspective, and the fact that he played together with Ruckert and Garrett in college, says we believe in this guy. Like, I think there's enough. I want to be sold hope for this year, and that's what Fields is. He gives me the shot at having a quarterback. If you want to take a mid-round guy as well, then you have like, okay, maybe we have that guy potentially like as a future quarterback at some point. There's a little bit of hope there. And then if it doesn't work out, you got at the very least a high-end backup for next year that could potentially start when Tyrod Taylor is not here either. So I'm a big fan of the Fields signing, even if it's a little bit more expensive than I was thinking. I would have thought somewhere in the like $10 to $15 million a year range. Sam got 1 year $10 million from the Vikings, so this is quite a step up. But Fields gets, or Sammy Boy gets paid 3 years, $100 million. Good for Sammy. I like me some Sammy. Would you start Fields or Tyrod Taylor? Fields all day. I feel like you want Fields to beat out Tyrod in training camp, but like realistically, I'm not playing Tyrod because I know what Tyrod is. Tyrod can just be the perfect backup quarterback. I'd rather have a lower floor with Fields because of the higher upside that he provides than what I know Tyrod Taylor to be. Tyrod Taylor's not going to give you anything absolutely crazy. You might win more games with Tyrod. Like that's like I could rationalize that in my head. But from an actual, this is my official stance, Justin Fields should beat out Tyrod Taylor, and Justin Fields should be the starter. If Tyrod Taylor is like clearly outperforming Fields, then I don't know. It's hard. I think with Garrett here and everyone's hyped upness on Fields, I would be very surprised if he was not our day one starter next year. Chase Young and J.K. Dobbins are both unrestricted free agents. I would like to see the Jets go after Zadarius Smith. He was with Detroit last year. He just got cut. I'd be cool with that. Trade down from 7 to the late teens, draft Ibuka. I think if someone's willing to come up, I'm down to trade down because if you get an extra second-round pick, that would be sweet. Isaac Trapillo, 3rd round for right tackle. I've been saying that. My whole offseason has basically been McMillan, Harold Fannin Jr., and Trapillo as like my top 3 picks. I really like Jalen Milroe. There's like a few guys that I'm like would be super excited on if we did pull the trigger on any of these players. And Trapillo is definitely one of them. Justin, credible. They will make a shirt. Sleeper app is the best for breaking news. I do like the Sleeper app. It's funny. I did get a few notifications, but I didn't think to like just check it for everything else. Boys, we've got 470 watching live. We got like close to 600 people now. Let's get the stream to 200 likes. Yeah, we're only at 120 likes. Boys and girls, if you're in here and you're hyped up that the Jets got Justin Fields, or you're just happy that like the season has finally sort of unofficially began, hit the like button. Really does go a long way here. What's going on with the safety for Miami? I haven't seen any rumors yet, but I'd love to see the Jets end up with him. Blitz crew, need to keep calm picks in mind when we're signing people. Reed, Kinlaw, Moses, and Reddick with Fields and Stevens against us. Milk thumbs. Yeah, I think I don't think the Jets are realistically expecting to get comp picks from this year. You'd have to be very careful with how you sign players. Like if a player is cut or on a void contract, I think that's okay and it doesn't work against you. It also depends on like the amount of money you sign, but clearly Fields and Stevens are going to be working against us. I would think Fields and like, Reed kind of cancel each other out, and then Kinlaw and Stevens in a way sort of cancel each other out, or maybe Reddick. Like, I can't believe Reddick got $14 million, and I can't believe Kinlaw got 3 years, 45. Like, what the hell did Washington see last year from Javon Kinlaw that one made you think, oh, this guy deserves a raise, and oh, he also deserves 2 additional years? Like, I'm sorry. Anyone that's hyped from Washington on Kinlaw, off their rocker. They clearly did not watch him last year. He was a straight-up liability for this team. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. Julian says, just got here. What do you think of Zach Wilson to the Dolphins? Also, where do you think Daniel Jones ends up? I've seen a lot of Daniel Jones to the Colts. I thought Jones going back to the Vikings would make a lot of sense. Have him be the bridge quarterback while JJ kind of works back from the injury. I think that would be fine. But I'm hearing the Colts with Daniel Jones. As far as Zach Wilson to the Dolphins, like I kind of wish he went to like the Raiders or a team that like I don't have to deal with all the time. But I think it's a good spot for him. I think he's going to have an opportunity when Tua eventually goes down. And I think the offense that he'd be playing in with McDaniel is the offense he should have been playing in the whole time. LaFleur just was, I think, a little tough to start with, but who knows? Zach Wilson sucks, right? That's what we're landing on right now, so screw that guy. How is Fields better than having Zach. It may not be, but the fact that like Garrett Wilson and Ruckert want to play with Fields, and I feel like the personality of Fields is very different from Zach Wilson. Like, I get why there were rumblings of Zach Wilson being a 3-car garage guy coming out of college. Like, that was like sort of the knock or the rumor we heard about him. After having him here in New York, I understand what they were talking about. There's just a little bit of like a privilege there. With Fields, I feel like he's had to fight and earn it. Like, yeah, he was the starter in Chicago. He, kind of fell from graces there. I don't think he got a real fair shake in Pittsburgh. And now you've got a team that is like fully believing in him in the Jets. He's got some of his former players from college with him. I think the learning that you've done over the last 2 seasons in particular, it leads you to be hopeful. You're hopeful, right? That's where it all comes down to. Daniel says, Arch Manning 2026. Hey, look, it's possible. I don't think the Jets are getting the number 1 overall pick, though. Dilra says, as a Lions fan, should I be excited about DJ Reed? I really like DJ Reed. I think he's a really good person. I think you got him for a good contract, too. Like, I would rather have DJ Reed at 16 than Carlton Davis at $20 million a year. So I think you guys did do well. Now, he was playing opposite Sauce, so, how much do you love him being the number 1 corner? It's a little hard to tell, but I'm a big fan of DJ Reed. I would not be upset if I were you guys. Kevin says, move back enough to recoup a third, still grab Warren would be ideal, then D-tackle in the second, have 2 third-rounders. Yeah, I want a second or third-round pick if we're going to trade down. Alex says, what do you think of Juwan Johnson? Do you think he's a good option to be the Jets' next tight end? I've heard rumors that the Jets are like sort of linked up with him prior to the start of free agency. I'll be honest, I have not watched a whole crazy ton of him. I want our main tight end to be drafted for us. Like, I don't want any of the tight ends in free agency to like get a massive deal by any stretch. If you want to say 1 year or 2 years, like that's fine. Or a 3-year deal that's effectively a 2-year deal. I'd much rather hit in a very draft-heavy tight end class. Sonny! Ryan, do you think it will be in a competition for starting between Fields, Taylor, and possibly a late-round rookie they draft? Let me know your thoughts, bro. I think they're going to frame it as Tyrod versus Fields, but I think the contract very clearly says Fields is going to start. I think him having the relationship with Garrett means Fields is going to start. I don't want to have to do this dog and pony show of like, oh yeah, we just want him to win the starting job, but he didn't really look good in preseason. He didn't really look good in training camp. Like, I want Fields to look good enough that he beats Tyrod Taylor, because I don't want Tyrod Taylor starting. I'd rather see the lower floor with Fields with the higher upside of Fields than the baseline steady of Tyrod Taylor. Let's see. Am I missing one in here? No. Okay, here we go. Ryan, what's up, dude? Says, with the crazy amount of wide receivers, or with the crazy amount that wide receivers are making right now, and the weakness at the position for the Jets, does it make sense to just hold on to Lazard at this point? I brought this up a while ago. Now, granted, this was probably going to be more the case if Rodgers were to return, but if Lazard would be willing to eat some of his contract to stay, I think, what is he getting, $10 million a year? Like, you could do a lot worse than Allen Lazard at $10 million. At least he's a willing blocker. He's stone hands, but, like, just don't throw him the ball, like, or at least not consistently. Like, I don't know. I'm not as, like, anti-Lazard as maybe some other people are, but I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of receivers getting a lot of money, and even edge rushers. Edge rushers are getting paid too. I don't know. David Bruce says, Curtis Martin and Wayne Corbett are my heroes. They are my heroes as well. I got Corbett back here. I was thinking about doing a Curtis Martin. I figured I'd do 2 different era Jets with Revis and Corbett back there. But Curtis, my favorite of the Martins. Do you think Fields has more rushing yards than our running backs by the end of the year? I don't think so. I think he'll have a lot. Like, I think he'll probably be our number 2 rusher. I think Brees probably is number 1. But we're going to be a run-heavy team. Very, very run-heavy. Wyatt, what's good, dude? Wyatt says, say what you want about Zach, but do not knock his character. He worked his tail off. His issue was definitely a mental one. Yes, I don't want to make it seem like I don't like Zach Wilson. I like the athlete of Zach Wilson. I think he was thrown into a bad situation with the Jets right off the bat rather than letting him sit for a little bit. I think we put the weight of the world on this kid's shoulders, and it just wasn't quite, his time to shine. I think he probably got the benefit of the COVID year with not having to play like really hard competition. I think part of the issue was we overdrafted him. I don't think he should have been drafted where he ultimately wound up going, but a lot of GMs did have him higher ranked anyway. As far as character, I'm not as anti, Zach Wilson on a character front, at all. Like I thought for the most part, like even the comments after the game where it's like, oh, do you think you let your defense down? He said no. I think he was just trying to get out of the interview. I don't think he like intentionally meant to throw shade at the defense. I think he was just trying to like, hey, let me answer this quick and just move on and get out of here. I'm saying he sucks and he's terrible because he's no longer on the Jets. He's on the Dolphins. I want him to be his worst version of himself down there. That I am being very, very clear on. I'm hoping he's not very good for them down there. Dick Chimney, what's up, dude? Says, tell Lazard to do the cheeseburger diet and move him to tight end. We need a blocking tight end. Yeah, like the big slot role for him, if you're going to keep him inside, allow him to block and chip and help out whoever's going to be on the right-hand side. Like if we're going with a mid-round rookie, let's say it's Trapillo in the third round, I think it would make a lot of sense to have someone like Lazard there to at least help out on that side. Plot twist, bring back Aaron Rodgers and Fields sits to learn from Aaron. Stop it, JV. You and your trolling. Just getting me fired up. Tyrod won't start, says Cameron. I agree. Fields just needs the right fit. Maybe it's us. I mean, look, if the options are tank for a quarterback in 2025 or try out Justin Fields, which could effectively be a tank if he doesn't work out anyway, but also have the potential sky-high upside that he figures it out and we get the Geno Smith, Sam Darnold situation, like, yeah, I'm sorry. I really like the Fields swing a lot. Eddie, teams will load the box on Fields. He will panic and Garrett will complain 2025, 2026. Insert same with Milroe. Look, we're going to hope that we could punish teams enough in the running game that Fields will be able to take advantage of the opportunities he gets in the passing game. Not to mention, like, I do hope we use a lot of screens and like, oh, they're going to send an extra guy into the box. Well, guess what? We're going to throw a little flip out to Breece in the flat. That's what I want to see. Chris says, by the way, Zach to Miami is effing hilarious. I mean, I do think that's funny because I think TD is probably like rolling over in his grave right now. But I do hope we don't see him. I'm so over Zach Wilson right now. Brandon Stevens is a bad player, says King's Hoops. Look, I haven't watched enough about him. He did lock down Jamar Chase, though, so it's hard to say. Alan Lazard, terrible, but I will say the first half of the season, he was actually doing good. Yeah, I think maybe without Rodgers, there's a little bit more, or a little less pressure on him, maybe. MJ Edits, if our owner didn't block a trade due to matting rankings, our wide receiver depth would be a lot better. I think we would have had to re-sign Judy, though, right? I guess, he wound up going to the Browns, so I guess they did sign him. I don't know. What do you think we give up for Olave? I mean, I'm not giving up a whole crazy ton. Like, Olave's he's a first-round pick going into his fourth year, the same year that Garrett Wilson came out. So, like, how much would you be willing to give up on potentially a 1 or 2 year rental? I don't really want to give up a whole lot because I'm fine with wide receiver in the second. But if the injuries, make it so that way we're going to see Olave go for like a 4th rounder or 5th rounder, like, yeah, I'm on board at that point. Zach Wilson will burn us when he comes back to MetLife next season. It's just kind of what the Jets do. That's what happens. Ryan says, I don't love Lazard. Trust me, I wanted him to be sent to the moon long ago, but I'd take him over the majority of the receivers on the market right now. Yeah. I'm also fine because I don't think he has any escalators in his contract at a particular date. Like, you could hold on to Alan Lazard until after June 1st when you like finally figure out, oh, we have an additional wide receiver or we don't, like you can cut him at any point, and I think you could still save the same amount of money. Jacob, I have a friend who's a Giants fan, and he was really pulling for Fields ever since the playoffs started. Now I get to rub it in when I see him. Yeah, my Giant fan friends are like reserved to either getting Aaron Rodgers, which they are not happy about, or they're going to trade up for Cam Ward. And I don't think I like either option for them. Zach has just as much upside as Fields after spending time with Peyton. Yeah, no, I agree. We just were not going to be bringing back Zach Wilson here. Like, you could bring in Justin Fields because Douglas is no longer here and Sal is no longer here, and he wasn't on the team prior. Like, it's the same reason why Sam Darnold coming back here would have been a pipe dream as well. Justin Fields becoming our franchise quarterback may be unlikely as of now, but this is definitely the most talented offense on paper he's ever had in the NFL. But if you're rooting against him, you're not a Jets fan. Yeah, like, we should want to see this dude play well. We really should. If Fields can go the route of Baker, we might be all right. I agree. James, seems like plenty of people want to give their negative takes on Fields or Stevens, but had no plan to address the positions otherwise. Yeah, whenever someone's like bitching about Justin Fields, like, I can't believe we moved on from Aaron Rodgers and this, that, and the other thing. Well, like, guess what? That Band-Aid's been ripped off. Aaron Rodgers was no longer an option once they decided we were parting ways. So what other quarterback are you bringing in here that makes more sense than Justin Fields? Because I value what Garrett Wilson thinks. I value what Sauce thinks. I value what Brees thinks. I think these guys want to feel like they have hope. And I think any other quarterback that you would have brought in here would not have conveyed the same degree of belief that I think Justin Fields provides. Get me worked up. TD lost his shit. That makes me feel good. Steven asking if we're doing call-ins tonight. I've got the Talkin' Jets show at 9 o'clock, so I'm not going to do call-ins right now. We'll do a call-in maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I'll do another stream this week, and we'll do the call-ins just because there's so many things going on. I want to get as much thoughts in the chat as possible. I get Fields getting some money, but for those worried the Jets are 1,000% committed to Fields long term, just breathe. If the Jets finished with the number one pick, they're drafting Allard hands down. Well, I think if they finish with the top pick, they're going to draft a quarterback no matter what next year. Should we grab Starks or Warren at 7 or trade down for a solid right tackle and get a mid-tier wide receiver? I would trade down and get the wide receiver before taking Starks. And that's not to say Starks is bad at all. I just don't value safety the same way that this regime might. Like, would I be shocked if they took Starks at 7? I mean, not really. The Lions took Brian Branch in like the top 15. Sorry. Daylight savings time, jacking me up. Do we think we get a wide receiver through trade, free agency, or the draft? I think it's going to be through the draft. Yes, Fields doesn't see the field well. That's all right. It's going to be running a lot. It's okay. Henry says, give me Justin Reed or Jonathan Allen, and Owusu in free agency. Warren at 7, Trapillo in the 2nd. I wouldn't hate that. I hope Trapillo doesn't have to go in the 2nd. I've been kind of penciling him in as a 3rd-round pick, but he may slide up more. Joe S. says, Fields will be back up in 2 years. It's possible. The contract allows you to do that. Miami's going nowhere. Steelers front office bringing in Aaron Rodgers to clean house. Yeah, I mean, if it implodes with Aaron Rodgers, I think Tomlin might be done too. I heard 3 years, $100 million is what they're possibly looking at. I don't know how true that is. Also, not for nothing, but I'm a little sick of Jets fans being scared of the Patriots or Zach Wilson. Aaron Glenn ain't letting that fly stop bending the knee to the mighty 4-3 Patriots. I think I'm not concerned with the Patriots. I'm bummed that we didn't match Moses' contract from the Patriots. I am also slightly jealous of the Patriots because I think they found their quarterback where we are very much still trying to figure it out. Concussions are definitely a thing, asked Wayne Corbett. Yeah, Corbett, his noodles pretty beat up. John, I can't wait to hear Jim Nantz say, hello, friends, and welcome to the AFC Championship game where the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers look to upset Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs Kingdom. Look, I don't think there's any way this relationship with Rodgers is going to work out this year without Saleh and Douglas in the building here. And as soon as all that was changed, I think it just made sense to move on. I'm not going to live on that timeline. Are you surprised that no Lions players have followed Glenn yet? No, because I don't think there's any like overly important Lions. I think 𝐂𝐻𝐼𝐥𝐢 is the one that most Jet fans are kind of hoping for. I don't know if there were a ton of Jet fans that really wanted Carlton Davis either, because for the money, we already had DJ Reed here. I didn't feel like I wanted to pay DJ Reed as much as he was going to get, and Carlton Davis got $4 million more than DJ Reed. We wound up spending, I think, $12 million. It was it 12? Yeah, 3 years, 36 on Stevens. So I don't know. Bearded says wide receiver tight end combo in free agency. That makes you take Membu at 7. I have become more enticed with Membu at 7 because of his combine and the very rare speed that he has and how guys project from those metrics into the NFL. He was already considered a first-round pick. Now I would be considering him. I like the idea of trading down more because in my mind, Membu might still be there. If he's not, I think Igbokwe is definitely going to be there, and I think Tyler Warren could definitely be there as well. So if you could trade down to like 12, that would be my preferred route. If Shedeur is there at 7, would we still draft him? I would not do it. I don't think Shedeur is the quarterback for me. Mike Tomlin, Rodgers, Metcalf, Pickens, Harris. Yeah, look, it's a good offense. Good team. Wonder if this regime is going to be active tonight like Joe Douglas was at nighttime. Maybe this is a nocturnal. Muji, he's still on mountain time or central time or whatever you normally have out in Colorado. Can't wait for Pat McAfee show when he gets to rip the Jets week after week, as he has a Favre in Minnesota season. Yeah, I don't want to see Rodgers go off. I would be pretty bummed on that. Blitz Crew, do we know we tried to match Moses' contract? Woody giving the players worst setup in the NFL, especially for the older guys, makes a difference. Yeah, I don't know if Moses gave us the opportunity to match. I would have liked to believe we could have, but he may view the Patriots as the better option to win right now. Membu, with that size and athleticism, a near clone of Penei Sewell, who the Lions took at 7. I didn't realize Penei Sewell was number 7, but that eerily similar for sure. Brandon Stevens, is the Javon Kinlaw of corners allowed 806 yards last year, second worst in the NFL? Yeah, maybe not great. Blitz Crew, do we know? No, hold on. You already said that. I thought I had another. Did I miss one? I don't think I missed one. I think I'm good. Best Jets content, hands down. Thank you so much. I don't think Membu is there at 7. Wow. So you think he goes ahead in front of us? I guess that's probably not the worst thing because another position player likely falls down. I would like to believe he's going to be there for us. Jets are kind of sitting in an interesting spot. El Medina. Thank you. Cheers. MJ edits, do not trade up for Ward. We already have missing pieces. Yeah, I don't want to trade up for Ward. I'd rather trade up in 2026 once we round out this roster. Oh, at the main event listening. Good stuff. Main event's where it's at. Patriots will sweep Jets with a blowout on Thanksgiving in MetLife this year. Ah, man, I'd like to at least be competitive in most games. Like, I don't want to get blown out again. I'm like over the whole blown out thing. Eric Reich, brother Jets roster is literally still better to overall more talent than the Pats. I'm not sure I understand that sentence. Sorry. Chris says drafting Bobby Boucher and his mama at number 7. That might be the way to win. Stevens appears to play more of a linebacker cornerback combo based on some of the tape he watched. Rich Eisen said a cool thing. If Fields balls out, we got a good quarterback and we are happy. If not, we have a good pick for next year's draft class. We are also happy. I agree. The worst thing that could happen would be Justin Fields. We win in spite of Justin Fields. And, you know, we wind up at like 6 or 7 wins towards the end of the year. That would suck. Tyler Warren is exactly jump ball winning receiver that Fields needs. I like Warren a lot. If he's the pick, I don't really want him at 7, I'll be honest. But if they make the pick, I'm fine with it. If I'm a Steelers fan, Aaron Rodgers is going to be my starting quarterback. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I want to go to Pittsburgh, said Dan Orlovsky. Nick Folk, Sean, he's available. Turbo says, if McMillan is there at 7, do we pick him? That has been my pick for a while. I think we very clearly need wide receiver 2. Now, maybe there's some way they feel they've addressed it before the draft, but I don't see where it's coming from. So tight end and wide receiver, those 2 positions in particular, should be top 3 level needs in this draft class, in my opinion. Justin Fields being the Hackenberg that stops us from drafting a future quarterback in 2026 would be that straw for me. I don't think that's the situation you find yourself in. I think you find yourself in a situation where it's like, hey, we're going to take a look at a rookie quarterback. You're either going to keep Fields on for that $20 million cap hit or whatever he's getting in 2025, and then you make your decision on, if you want to pull the trigger on a quarterback or not. How much lower can you set your expectations, all just to avoid the sad reality they fucked up and should have brought Aaron Rodgers back? I don't think the Jets were winning much with Aaron Rodgers. Heck, we won, 5 games or 6 games? What do we have on our record with Aaron Rodgers? So, I don't see it being anything real different. I think it was just the right time for both sides to split. Even though the Patriots were tough after those 2 games against the Bengals and Seahawks, only to get punked on national TV by the Jets, and they will get punked by them once again. I would love to see the Jets just take it to town on the Patriots. With Sherwood signed, do you still believe Jets should grab a linebacker in day 3? I think linebacker is going to be a need because I'm not so sure Quincy Williams is going to be around beyond this year either. He might even hold out this year for a new deal. Evan says, I might be late to the party here, but I don't get the Stevens signing. Can someone help me out? I think Eccles could have been sufficient cornerback number 2. I've heard rumors that Stevens is going to play one of the safety positions. I guess having that flexibility is nice either way. Yeah, I hope Eccles comes back too, I'll be honest. Bears taking Jeanty. I think it's possible. Oh, man. We're at the 9 o'clock hour. And I never sent that link over to Tigo. All right, boys and girls. I am going to hop over to the Talking Jets channel. I appreciate you guys coming in here. All 600 of you. If you could hit that like button on the way out, it would do me a great service. It would help me out a whole lot. Really means a whole heck of a lot. Boys and girls, I'm going to let this ad play, and then we're going to jump over to Talking Jets. Some of my takes may stink doesn't mean you guys have to stink. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. Mando reached out and said, Ryan, your team has stunk for a very long time, so we know that you understand what thinking is. And I said, yeah, absolutely. They're like, so bad, in fact, that we think we can smell you through the camera. And I was like, man, that's very aggressive. Thank you. But what do I got to do? They're like, hey, we're going to send you out some product. We want you to test it out. We want you to be honest with your audience. And then if you like it, offer up a promo code. I was like, all right, cool. So they sent me out the starter pack. I got the Mount Fuji deodorant. Really enjoy that. Put that on every day. In the summer, I've got what is known as a chafing problem, like 2 chestnuts over a roasting fire type problem. This stuff can be put on anything. Your feet, your butt crack, your grundle, your armpits, your hands, boobies, rolls, under boobies, anywhere. This stuff is totally safe. And throwing this on the chafing areas, very, very appreciated. It comes with 2 free gifts as well. I chose the bourbon leather body wash. Becca has really liked that, but I think my favorite thing in the pack is honestly the deodorant wipes. I throw this into my to-go bag and I can just freshen up no matter where I am throughout my day. And maybe I was just yelling at a camera underneath some hot lights and I just need to look a little bit nicer, smell a little bit nicer when I walk out of the cockpit here. So guys, if you want to get in on this, I've really enjoyed it. Shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. That's shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. It's going to get you $5 off. That's a 40% off savings on their starter pack. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. Boys and girls, over to Talking Jets. 90% of you said you are happy with the Justin Fields signing. I'm glad you're happy because I'm happy. We could all be happy together. Boys and girls, I will see you over on Talking Jets.